Green. Dinosaurs are green. Alright, one nice little green dinosaur. Now next I'm gonna... Not a problem. Not a problem, I can paint over that, that's fine. I can do that. That's fine. I'll repaint this happy little dinosaur, it's fine. It's just a little bit of blue on my green. I didn't put it there, I don't know who put it there. Okay, well, you know, I did what I could. I mean, there's only so much, you know, blue and green together, it's... Alright, that's the way you want to play. That's the way we'll play. This time, boys, we're going to war. And we're taking no prisoners. If you don't with my dinosaur. Hey, this is actually pretty fun. Despite the fact that every time I paint it yellow, someone else comes along and paints it blue, and then I have to come back and paint it yellow again, and again, and again, and again. It's actually a little bit fun if you get stuck into it. You just... It's over. I won. I actually won. It's... Okay, well, I guess I'll just... Oh, son of a bitch. I would be lying if I said that I haven't been playing a stupid amount of Splatoon 2. I'd also be lying if I said that paint was easy to get off my face and the wall and the floor and everywhere else, because it wasn't easy at all. I actually had no intention of even reviewing this game. I wasn't even sure if I was going to pick it up because I wasn't a huge fan of Splatoon 1. It was a fun game, sure, but my biggest gripe was the motion controls. I just didn't like aiming with motion controls. Whenever I turn them off, it just feels way too stiff and rigid. It's almost like it wants you. The game just lends so well to the motion controls, but you can't be precise, and it really frustrated me that in a first-person shooter I couldn't kill anyone. And that entire first Splatoon, it went over my head that really isn't the point of the game. In fact, you don't need to be precise, you don't even need to get kills. The entire point is to splat your paint wherever you possibly can, covering as much ground as you can. But is it worth dropping our paintbrushes, splatting out of the house down to the local GameStop, and dropping a couple squid on the full retail price of the game? Is it worth that? Let's find out. Now, for those of you that haven't played Splatoon, the whole point of the game is to cover as much of the turf and the map as you can in your color's paint. And it's so satisfying to splat your paint everywhere. Even the sound the guns and the paint rollers and the brushes make when they splat paint everywhere is such a satisfying sound, a satisfying feeling. And you can kill the other team, but it really doesn't serve too much of a purpose. Really, what you need to do is to cover the biggest percentage of the area as possible. So your team will start covering the map in your paint, and the other team will do the same, and you'll meet in the middle. Then you'll start fighting it out and trying to cover the other team's paint with your paint to end up on the highest percentage of map covered. And to do this, you're given a huge array of weapons. You start off with an amount that you can buy from a shop, and then as you level up, you unlock more, and you can get paintbrushes and paint rollers and buckets and guns, and there's even an NES zapper, which I really like. It's kind of bad actually to use in the game, but it's fun to look at. You can get huge, like heavy splatting machine gun type things. That one kind of sucks too, actually. Each gun comes with a moveset, like a grenade or a sticky grenade, or one of them curling things that you get in hockey or whatever. It's not hockey, it's curling. I said it the first time. And then you get like an ultimate type thing where when you've covered a certain amount of ground, you get access to your ultimate ability that you can use several times in a game. One of my favorite ones is like a jetpack, and as you move along, it sprays the ground and you can fire huge bursts at people, and it's really easy to get kills. You can get one where you sort of Superman up in the air and you come down and slam the ground with an area of paint. There's one with the curling where you just throw out like a stupid amount of curling things, and you get access to those like abilities a lot during the game. And when it's only 3-minute rounds, you have these 3-minute intense rounds where you're firing paint everywhere, you're doing your special abilities, you're throwing stuff. The rounds go so quickly that that's when it's like, one more. I have work in like 2 hours and I haven't slept tonight, but I can do one more, just one more. And then you'll do another one more, another one more. It's so addictive. It makes you just want to keep playing. Whether you win or lose, it's still fun. Like, obviously you would prefer to win and you get like way more points if you win, but it's still fun. You'll still have a good time. And one of the coolest, and I guess the main gimmick of the game, is you can turn into a squid and you can glide inside your paint, your color paint, and the other team can't see you. I think maybe a little bit when you splash up here and there, but for the most part you can hide in your paint. When you're in your paint, you regenerate your paint bar so you can splat more. You move really slowly on your enemy's paint, so you got to make sure you are consistently splatting around you and you don't find yourself in a position where you're moving really slowly, because that's when you become a huge target in the game. A really cool strategy that I hate being used against me is splatting around someone before you try and kill them if you have the time to do so, because they get trapped, and if they try and get away or dodge roll or they end up in your paint, they move so slowly that it's just an easy kill. And as I said, it's kind of hard to get used to the motion controls, and when you do, you can get a lot better at getting kills, but it's really not about that. Whether you want to go for kills, whether you want to go for like mass coverage, you can have fun with really any play style. And a lot of the different weapons encourage you to play a certain way. Like obviously the paint roller and the buckets is really good for covering a lot of land, whereas the guns, especially the precise guns and the sniper rifles, are good for trying to get kills. And while kills don't really add too much to the total score, it does send them back to their base with the respawn countdown. So if you kill enough of them at once, your team can really wreak havoc on their side while you wait for them to come back. Ultimately, it's really satisfying and fun to play. The gameplay it's fun. It's just really fun. And now as far as the game looks, something I really like about Nintendo and the Switch in general is the Switch isn't a powerhouse. And as I've said, it was never designed to be. But Nintendo's games and franchises that they create lend so well to something like this. They don't have to look amazing. They look almost that timeless graphical style that Nintendo has always done. So for what it is, the game looks really, really nice and crisp, especially when you're playing in handheld mode, which is what I do most of the time, because I find it easier with the motion controls to be able to move the entire screen and aim that way, rather than have a stationary TV, and try and move on a separate controller. I'm finding it a lot easier to play on the tablet, and it looks really nice on the tablet. I can play in bed in multiplayer while I watch something on the TV. So I've been talking a lot about the multiplayer because I haven't actually even touched the single player. I know it's there, and it's supposed to be better than the first game single player, but the multiplayer is so addictive. I've had no reason to put that down. Every time I wanted to play the game, I've wanted to play the multiplayer. So I haven't touched the single player, which I mean really says something about the game and how fun it is, because usually I'm always in the single player first and then I go to multiplayer, but I just can't stop. Myself and RGT85, Sean Long have been playing this game a lot, as well as my Patreons. We've all been playing this game together online and having so much fun. One of my Patreons, Patrick and Sean and I, played a salmon run the other day, and that's really fun too. It's like horde mode in Gears of War, but you have all these enemies coming at you, and every now and then there's like a boss enemy and you need to take them down a certain way. You need to collect eggs and put them in a basket, and you need to get a certain amount of eggs in the basket to pass around, and it gets harder and harder and harder as you go along. And if you lose, you like go back some points. It's really intense and you don't want to lose, but it gets really difficult, and that's honestly really fun too, like surprisingly fun. Get a few friends together and play that one, or just go online and play it. It's great. So whether you want to pick up this game to play the single player, the multiplayer, salmon run, to be competitive, to have a good casual time, just to play something, I feel like you're gonna have a lot of fun. There are so many different weapons to choose from, clothing items to choose from, bonuses to unlock. It is honestly such a satisfying game. Is this game worth it? I think you know my answer, yes. I'm not saying that every single person that goes out to pick this up is gonna enjoy it. I'm not saying everyone in the world is gonna love this game. I mean, everyone has their own opinions, different likes, needs, and wants from a game. As I said, this isn't a game about precision, so if you like multiplayer shooter games and you're all about getting them headshots, this game might not be for you. Or maybe you don't like the style of the game, the cartoony graphic looking style of the game, or maybe you just won't find it fun. But I can guarantee you, pick it up and play it for an hour or two and you'll have your answer on whether or not you are going to enjoy this game. And you guys know that I am a cheap bastard and I hate paying full retail price for anything, and I will avoid it to holy hell if I can. I would pay full price for this game. That says more than any like number rating out of 10 or anything. Wood from Beat 'em Ups would pay full price for Splatoon 2. That's how good Splatoon 2 is. But that is all from me, guys. What do you think? Is Splatoon 2 worth buying? Are you playing it and having a lot of fun? Are you thinking about picking it up? Do you not want to pick it up? Why? Maybe you don't have a Switch. That's a damn good reason. Let me know that down below. Remember to like this video, subscribe because of all the paint I had to clean off the floor and the walls, and it really wasn't easy. So if I can do that, you can click a button because it makes me happy and we become best friends. Well, my little woodies, I want to start making that a thing. I've been thinking about it for a while. Well, little woodies, that's all from me. I'm not going to end this video crazy because it started crazy. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you guys. I will say that this is definitely the worst part. Every time you log back into the game, even if you take a half an hour break and you just sit through these two talking about what maps have changed, I don't care. I just want to play whatever the maps. I'm not going to look at the maps and be like, oh, actually, I don't like those maps. I'm not playing today. Just let me play. Let me take an hour break without being bombarded from information. Someone pointed out to me that maybe this is Nintendo's way of hiding a loading screen, but loading screens shouldn't be this long, and loading screens shouldn't have me tapping A faster than a QuickTime event-based game.